right side, 1,750 points.
Let's take it on.
All right, so here we have the Sisters of Battle in the Imperial Guard, or if you're new to Warhammer 40k, the Adeptus Sororitas and the Astra Militarum. So organized into a battalion in the spearhead formation, and then in the front there we have 3 assassins for a vanguard detachment. With under the new FAQ, they don't need a headquarters; they just don't get the command point.
It's a worth trade, I would say.
We're gonna see. This is the first time I played with them in 8th edition. Jake used to run with them, but this will be a first for me. So starting with the sisters, I have 2 canonesses. They each have a power sword. One is armed with an Infernus pistol. One is armed with a combi bolter and flamer. And I got 3 squads of sisters. The one in front there, Sister Superior, has a chain sword and plasma pistol. And the 2 back here, the Sister Superiors, are armed with power swords and bolters. Now each one of those 9 sister squads has a combi bolter and a heavy bolter with them. Then I got 8 Seraphim back here. The Sister Superior has a power sword and just a bolt pistol. And no special weapons in there. And then we have 2 Penitent Engines, which can do some real damage if they ever make it to close combat. Over on the guard side, in the spearhead formation, this is my warlord right here. It is a Plasma Executioner with Sights Bossins with plasma cannons and a heavy bolter in front. His warlord trait is going to be Grand Strategist, so I will be getting command points back. And he has Kuros Aquila, so I get your command points as well. He's flanked by 2 standard Leman Russes, both with heavy bolters in front, and then a Mana Core back here to provide some long-range fire support.
That thing will be nasty.
It never is, but it is here, so we'll see how it can do. And then I have 2 squads of regular 17th Shetland Light Dragoon infantrymen. If you've watched the channel before, you know I normally run those in Chimeras, but as this whole tank platoon has been seconded to the Sisters of Battle for this urban fight, they've left the Chimeras at home. And then lastly, the 3 assassins, Calidus, Exodus, and Calexis? Yeah, that's it. Form the triad there to provide some close combat punch. Altogether, that gives me 9 command points and a whole lot of fun, I hope, for this game. Any questions?
Well, let's say that one. These things, I know what they do.
Yes.
I got experience. Penitent Engine, as you said, can be pain. Definitely, if they reach combat.
Yes.
You will see it later when we will record my army, but I'm mostly more worried about the Colexus because you see later I have 1,000 Suns, so that can give me or cause some serious troubles.
And I didn't know what you were playing when I designed this army list, so
yes.
I took one of each of those assassins, just kind of, hedge my bets there. And I also should have pointed out, since this is a spearhead detachment, all 3 Leman Russes or objectives secured, as are the 2 infantry squads, and then the 3 sister squads over here, which will be very important since we're playing ITC mission today.
Exactly. So, and one thing, but I always had I have to mention it when you saw the battle reports before, I'm also always a bit worried about these Celestials.
They are Seraphim.
Seraphims, because they have proven to be always good character killers.
They normally run with the dual hand meltas, the Infernus pistols. They were too expensive for me today, so they're really there just to cap objectives for me.
Okay.
And to provide some deep strike support, as you'll find out.
Okay. So and for now I have no bigger questions, but as I mentioned or pointed out before, the Colexus will be my biggest problem, and probably, or you will see it later, the tanks will be a problem for me. But we both didn't knew what we actually face off.
We like to keep it that way.
Yes, and that's why we will go. I think we go on to my 1,000 Suns.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back with Simon's sizable 1,000 Suns force.
So hey guys, I have to first apologize because of let's say I just forgot to bring my Exalted and my Exalted on a disc, which were fully painted. So I'm excusing here, but fortunately I had some other models which I can substitute, and I had to rearrange a little bit my list. but it quite works.
Logistical complications.
Yeah, let's put it in that way.
All right.
Okay, I have a battalion, so in total I have 8 command points. My warlord is the sorcerer in Terminator armor. He has the Chaos Familiar combi bolter, not Inferno unfortunately, and he has a Force Axe. And he has, as I said, the Chaos Familiar, which gives me +1 to my psychic test. And I have chosen as a warlord trait High Magister, which me gives another +1 on my psychic test. So that's quite good. Casting, we will talk about this later through the game. I have another exalted. He looks like he eats too much beans. That will be the guy on the disc. So for proxying, sorry guys. Yeah, and he also just has 4 staff and Inferno combi bolter. So for my troop choice, I have actually like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troop choices. As you can see, 2 times Zangors, each 15. They have a Greyhorn, and they have the Zangor blades, both. Then I have 2 squads of Rubric Marines, 10 with Inferno bolter, and here, as you can see, with the Sororitas cannon. I have here glued the icon flame, but they're not inside there. And in the back side, I have a small squad of also rubrics with war flamers. And as a lead choice, I have my Scarab Occult Terminators. I just love them. People have different ideas about them. I love them. And for some heavy more hitting, I have 2 Hellforged Contemptors. The Carrier's Assault Cannon, as you guys probably know, they are not provided by Forge World as a model, so I use the Carries as a Butcher or Butcher Cannon? Butcher Cannon. Yes, and with the claws. And as a fast attack choice, I have my Zangors Enlightened on the discs, and they have the Great Caster Fate Bow. So that's my 750 points of Thousand Suns.
Relic
is...
you got me on that last time, so I'm asking this time.
I have like my actual standard choice is the Helmet of Third Eye. Okay. It means for every command point you spend on a 5+, I get it back. Okay. So that's the only thing what I have for relics.
Command point farming on both sides.
Yes, command point farming on both sides. So technically, I can farm a little bit more. You have 9 command points to toy with. Then later you can also farm, so we can actually farm from each other quite a bit. So
take advantage of it while we still can.
Yeah, that can maybe lead to some hilarious moments.
Yes, indeed.
So, do you have any questions?
No, I think it looks good. You're putting me in a difficult position when I choose my secondary objectives for the ITC mission, so I will think about that, and we will be back with our deployment and which secondary missions each of us have chosen. So, we'll see you after deployment.
What is the location?
We have rolled off. Simon won that roll off. Rolled for a random deployment style. It was Vanguard Strike. So Simon has picked the far corner over there, while the Brave Guard and Sisters of Battle are on this near right corner. Simon, we can start with you on your side.
I will go from that side. Here on my right flank are the masked both Contemptors. 1 unit of Warp Flamer rubrics, then beside Inferno Bolt rubrics. Behind I have my Zangors or Enlightened. Here behind I have my Sorcerer in the Terminator armor. And here I have my other unit of rubrics. In reserve in Deep Strike I have my Scarab Occult Terminators. And I used 3 command points for Welfare Infiltration for my Zangors.
I rolled to see if I could get a command point back for that using Kurov's Aquila. I did not.
You rolled a 4, unfortunately not a 5.
Yes.
So before we switch on to you, I will just tell which unit has what on psychic spells.
All right.
This unit of Rubrics have the Baby Smite plus the Death Axe. This one has Glamour of Tzeentch. This one has Tzeentch Firestorm. The Exalted on a Disc has Temporal Manipulation and Warp Time. The guy over here, my Warlord, has Prescience and Doombolt. And the Sorcerer of the Terminators has Weaver of Fates.
Okay, Simon, last, you want to talk real quick about your secondary objectives?
My secondary objectives were Old School, Ground Control, and Monster Hunt.
All right, big game hunter indeed. Plenty of targets. Okay, let's check out what the Guards and Sisters are up to. Back right corner here, I have the Manticore. It is being screened by a unit of 9 Sisters. Another unit of 9 Sisters supported by a Canoness up in the woods there. Back here in reserve, I have my Penitent Engine, another unit of 9 Sisters. We have a Leman Russ, which is stationed right next to objective number 4. Unit Guardsman for screen of the 2nd Leman Russ, and then the Leman Russ Commander. Over here on the left, I got a squad of Guard taking cover behind this fortification. And then we have one more Penitent Engine kind of in reserve, waiting for Simon's Deep Strikers to come in. My Deep Strikers consist of all 3 Assassins and the Seraphim. And that's going to be important because my secondary objectives are Recon, which means I have to have a unit in every board quarter. It is Last Man Standing, just like you, where we count objectives at the end. So we both think we have an advantage there. We will see who really has the advantage. And then lastly, Marked for Death. The units I have marked for death are the 2 units of Zangors, the unit of
Warp Flamer
guys over here indeed.
Exalted on a Disc, and I think that was
That's
4
it.
units.
Yep, 4 units. All at least 7 command points. So with that, Simon, we are ready to see who gets to choose to go first or second.
I get +1 because I finished first, so let's see what's going on. I have a 2.
I have a 3. Simon, I'm going to choose to go second, so there's no stealing of the initiative here.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
We'll be back after the movement phase of turn 1.
So guys, this is Thousand Suns movement turn 1. So what I did was actually quite shuffling around, staying in the line of sight, blocking terrain. So what I did here, this unit of Rubrics, I just moved them over here. Then over here, this unit, which was before here of Rubrics, I placed them here in the ruins, which are in line of sight blocking. I moved that Contemptor over here. That Contemptor from that one moved here. The Rubrics, which were standing here before, just moved up here, and the Zangors advanced here, and my Warlord advanced from behind that that terrain over here. For now, no deep strikes, and yeah. Now we will go for Psychic Phase.
Safe to say it was a cautious first turn of movement from the Thousand Suns.
Oh yes, indeed.
All right, so be back with the Psychic Phase next. Before Simon goes ahead and does a psychic test, I just want to point out that I don't have anything that can deny. Now, Sisters do have a stratagem which will allow them to deny on a 4+, but that's only in an Adeptus Sororitas detachment. I have some Adeptus Ministorum units in the Walkers, so that doesn't apply here. So Simon, where are you going to start?
So the first thing what I start is obviously Warp Time on my Contemptor.
Okay.
So I do need a 6, I assume. Yes, a 6. So let's go for that one. I have it with an 8, so he can just move 9 inches more.
Okay.
What he does, and he will move behind here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is Glamour of Tzeentch. Well, I think I will go Glamour of Tzeentch on that Contemptor.
Okay.
So I think it's a 7. Yes, it's a 7. It's a 9.
Very good.
So he's glamored, so he's -1 to hit now.
Okay.
So, and actually that was everything, because smite or something else doesn't really apply because I'm behind covers, so he can't see me, I can't see him, and that's actually everything what I do now. Prescience I also won't do because I don't want to shoot with them for now.
Okay, so are we going to have a shooting phase this turn one?
Honestly, not.
Okay, I didn't think so, and so no assault phase as well.
Exactly, so we can go on to your second turn.
Okay, so as far as points are concerned, right now, Simon, do you hold an objective?
I hold actually 2. One is here, number 6,
Mm-hmm.
and number 1 by this Exalted.
So you get 1 point for that.
Yes.
You didn't kill anybody, so no points for that.
Yes.
And then you also chose Old School. You would have gotten a point if you would have killed a unit in the first turn.
I would.
So you do miss that opportunity. So right now, Simon does have 1 point that we'll mark him down for. And then at the end of the game round, we see who's killed more and who has more objectives for additional points. So with that, we're on to Astra Militarum, Adeptus Sororitas, turn 1. The Imperium's turn 1 movement started with the Sisters of Battle up there using an act of faith to double move and have now taken objective number 2 and advanced the canoness behind them 6 inches for a total of 12. This canoness also advanced, as did this penitent engine move around to the right. The Sisters in this building also advanced, rolled a 2, got 8, and they are securing objective 5 for me. Well, this unit of Brave 17 Shetland Light Dragoons has just moved forward a bit in order to give me a little bash screen. This one advanced, since they are Talon Doctrine users, they will still be able to shoot without penalty. This penitent engine moved up a little bit, and the 3 Lehman Russes and the Manticore all remained in place. Now, we don't have any Psychers, and we're not bringing anything in Deep Strike, so we'll just go straight to the shooting phase next. Turn 1 shooting for the Imperium. Let's start with these Sisters over here. They managed to take out 2 with the standard bolters, but Simon rerolled one of those saves with a command point. I did not get it back using Cuirass Aquila. And then the heavy bolter managed to take out a second one, so Simon has lost 2 in that unit back there.
So no moral test because they have moral 8 for now.
That is okay. Over here, the Shelties have opened fire and using their last guns after advancing because of Talern. Managed to do 3 wounds to the Flamer squad that was here, but Simon made all the 2-up saves. That's when the big guns, or rockets, of the Manticore opened up. Rolled 9 for shots, and 6 of them hit, 6 of them wounded, and Simon made 1 save but failed there at 5. So I've killed a unit, and it was also a unit that was marked for death, so I'll get a point there. So we'll be right back with an end of round recap, but before we do that, just to show I do control at least 1 objective and I've killed at least 1 unit. So we'll be right back. In ITC missions, you get extra points if you hold more objectives than your opponent. Right now I hold 3. 1, 2, and 3 to Simon's 2.
Here and there.
And you also get an extra point if you kill more than the opponent during a battle round. I have killed 1, Simon did not kill any. So that's going to net me 2 extra bonus points on top of the 3 I got. So that will give me 5 points to Simon's 1. But now the real games begin because it's going to open up for both sides. So we'll be back after Thousand Suns, turn 2, movement.
So guys, Thousand Suns turn 2 movement. All in all, I just moved up from here, from the backside. The rubrics came. The Exalted moved over here. The Contemptor Dread went over here. And at the end of the turn, I dropped my Terminators here. I just shuffled around here a bit this rubrics. They get some line of sight to at least some infantry squads. At least some of them. The Zangers moved up here 12 inches, and the Contemptor Dread over here just repositioned a bit, that he gets line of sight to that penitent engine. And yeah, that's my movement.
So you kept the 2 units of Zangers off board for now.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the second phase next. Simon has talked through it. He is now ready to start his psychic phase. Where to begin, Simon?
So I start over here. I'm giving this guy warp time.
Okay.
Obviously. So needing a 6, which is getting, so he can move 9 inches more. So where we want to put him, I will put him here. Then I do Weavers of Fate. I forgot to bring the card over here, just excuse me. I'm putting Weavers of Fate also on this Dread.
What's that going to do?
+1 to my invulnerable save.
Okay.
So I have then against shooting attacks a 4+ invulnerable save and a 3+ against close combat.
Okay.
So I'm needing here 6, assume. Yes. So I'll get it with a 10. That's perfect. So he's weavered. So let's go on. Prescience from my warlord into that one. He has the Chaos Familiar plus High Magister, so he gets +2 to his psychic test. So it will be a 5. I take a command point and reroll that one. For free, 6. It's fine.
Okay, I need to roll to see if...
You can take mine.
Oh, no, thank you. I've played that game before. Karos Aquila?
Nope.
Nope. It's a 4.
It's a 4. So he is prescienced.
You are really running out of command points, so
Yeah,
we'll take it.
but you have still enough to farm. And I'm putting Glamour of Zinj on that unit on a 6 on my Dread over here. It's coming, so it's also glamoured.
Okay.
So that was my psychic phase. Still no smitey shenanigans. Yeah.
All right.
That's good. Go
On
on.
the shooting phase next. Simon's turn 2 shooting.
It was actually not bad. So let's start over here on that side. Combined firepower, rubrics plus Terminators. Killed that sister squad over here. Butcher Cannon of the Dread took away, I think, 4 wounds here.
Yes, indeed. It's got
So-
3 remaining.
Yes. Let's go over here. I just had 3 rubrics which could see through that window over here. One was in double tap, so 3 shots, plus the rubric Marines over here killed, I think, 4 more. He killed 4. Wait.
Total of 7.
The Sororitas has 4 shots. And
Yeah, I
killed
got one
all.
extra guy there.
Yes.
So total 7.
Total 7 guys were killed here.
Yep.
And the Zangors enlightened with 3 6s on the hit roll for their special abilities. For the special ability, killed here 4 more guardsmen.
Okay.
So that was everything. All in all, we will have an assault phase. And
All right. So we'll be back to show you what are you charging into.
I'm charging with my Contemptor Dreadnought in your Pendant Engine.
All right. We'll be back and let you know how that turns out. All right, Simon, take us through your charge.
So it wasn't actually a 9-in charge. I made it with a 10. And then 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. I just managed to make 2 hits. But then wounding on 2s, also 2 wounds, I think. And then you saved 1, I think, yeah?
Yes.
So anyhow, 3 damage flat. Killed that Pendant Engine, and it exploded, obviously. I couldn't, then I rolled for the eating ability of the Contemptor. Fortunately didn't get back a wound, so I have now 8 wounds over here. And I think your cannons lost also 2, and you lost here 2.
Correct. All right, so we'll be back with morale and end turn scoring after this. So we're going to take you through morale first. This squad of sisters has lost 2, which isn't enough to force a morale check with leadership 8. The squad of guard, however, has lost 7, as you saw on camera. I'm not going to spend any command points. It's going to be leadership 7 off the sergeant plus d6. which is 5, so that squad will be wiped. And the squad down here has lost 4, plus 5 is 9, so they will lose an extra 2 there to morale. For our scoring, Simon does control at least one objective.
I do.
He has killed at least 1 unit.
With that one, and plus my special
Big Game Hunter.
Big Game Hunter.
So he will get 3 points this turn to kind of close the gap there. But now the Imperium gets ready to strike back with some assassin-y goodness. The Sisters in Guard have finished their movement phase. I've kept these Sisters back here in place, along with the Mana Corps, while I've shuffled my 3 tanks around for line of sight, make sure I can shoot things. Act of Faith went off with the Canoness getting to shoot her Furnace Pistol. Command points were spent on both sides. Simon gained 1 back after the Canoness failed to wound after hitting on 2+. I re-rolled that with the command point. That's how Simon got his. Wounded him there. He failed his 4-up in ball save. He spent that command point he just got back. Failed it again, and the Canoness did 4 points of damage to the Contemptor Dreadnought, so he's down to 4. Then, during her movement, she closed the distance with them. The squad of girls shuffled around a little bit, still controlling Objective 5, while the second Canoness has moved forward to get out of line of sight, but still control Objective 2. Down here, what's left of my guardsmen they tried to hide behind this building, but they roll pretty poorly. I think they're okay right now, but we'll see. Well, I advanced this penitent engine as well. He rolled a 1, just like the guardsman, so didn't get it very far. Now, in order to secure recon, I have moved my Sisters of Battle back the farthest corner there, while all 3 assassins has come in on Simon's side next to his Terminators. I was hoping that the assassin closest to us, she comes in 3 inches away plus D6. Her gun is 9 inches and it does mortal wounds. Unfortunately, she rolled a 6, so she's out of range to use her gun. But still, 3 assassins is quite a bit, and the Colexus is on the board, so it's going to make Psychic Powers a little bit tougher to do going forward. Alright, with that, we'll be back with Guard and Sisters turn 2 shooting next. Turn 2 shooting for the Imperium started with this squad of Sisters opening up and doing 1 point of damage to Simon's Contemptor, and then the Canoness closed in with her Furnace Pistol, managed to hit, wound. Simon failed the 4-up save. He re-rolled it using a command point. Neither one of us got that back.
Again.
And failed it again, and then getting to roll 2d6, the Canoness did 5 wounds to it, finishing it off. It did not explode.
Unfortunately.
So that allowed me to shoot with this Lehman Russ all the way down towards the Flying Zangers that were down here, just doing a wound. But his wingman 2-1 there finished him off with his battle cannon and heavy bolter, so destroyed that unit. Which then allowed the commander, who had given orders of reroll 1s for both these units using a stratagem, so Simon, you're going to have to roll for that, to give an extra order. So Simon's going to roll to see if he gets one back on a 5-up.
Nope.
He does not. Was able to then overcharge his plasmas and killed
6. 4, 6.
6. I think he killed 4, and then the Mana Corps came in to kill another 2.
Yes.
So felt pretty good about that. Over here, the assassins managed to put 3 wounds onto the Exalted Sorcerer, and then the pistol managed to do no wounds to the Terminators. But overall, pretty happy so far as we move into the assault phase, having destroyed 2 units. Probably not going to be able to make it 3, but that's okay because I like where we're at right now. The charge and fight phase are complete. No issues with the 3d6 getting the first assassin in. The second assassin did require a command point reroll to get in, and then the good old Colexus did not make it in, needing 9-inch charge. Once they got in, a little underwhelming. The All Is Dust rule certainly helped Simon out a lot. They did a combined total of 1 damage to the Terminators. And Simon in return, he did jump in after the first assassin went in order to do an additional 4 wounds on the second assassin. But wasn't enough to kill him. It didn't matter, even though he did 6 wounds to Simon in return. With the -1/+1, it was a 2-up save, and Simon made all 6. So with that, A little underwhelming on the assassin's part, but that's okay. Now let's take a look at the board. Okay, there's a lot going on here, so let's take it nice and slow. Do I get the 1 point in my turn for holding an objective? Yes. Do I get the 1 point for killing a unit? Yes, I do. So now what comes down to, Simon, is I hold more objectives than you, so I'll get a bonus point there. You killed 3 of my units. I have killed 2 of your units, but you do have one teetering right over here. They have lost a total of 6, and they have how many guys left?
2. So
2.
They have leadership 8, so...
4 or higher, they will be destroyed as well, and you will not get that bonus point.
Yeah.
So, if you want to roll their morale check, that's a 4. And you are out of command points because you interrupted.
Yeah.
So we actually end up tied on units destroyed there. They were not marked for death for me, unfortunately, but it was a pretty bloody round. And the Imperium is doing well now, gaining an additional 3 points this round. So I'll post the score up as we go into Thousand Suns turn 3 next. Quick note, I also score a recon with a unit here, a unit back there, a unit there, and multiple units here. So additional point for the Imperium. Simon, your turn 3, sir.
My turn 3, sir. So, all in all, not a lot of movement, let's say that way. I just shifted that guys a little bit up, claiming still that objective over here. The temperature just moved up a little bit to get nearer to that penitent engine. And yeah, the Exalted over here moved, advanced over here. That Southern Terminator also moved there. And as I said, this Rubik's just moved up here for getting shots into that Colexus. I know it's hitting on 6s, but he has to die because he's just going me nuts, literally. So on that side, I webfay infiltrated my Zangers over here. The idea is quite obvious. And over here, I quite a conga lined those Zangers over here. Just for the case that I don't have to move through that forest to getting a -2 penalty on my charge. So, and with the Brayhorn, so I have an 8 for charge, so it's like 42% chance that it happens. So let's see what the round will give me.
Start with the Psychic phase next. Simon has worked through his Psychic order, so go ahead, Simon. What are we going to do first?
I'm going first just to go take a smite. I unfortunately didn't see that that was here, but anyhow I would smite because 1 wound less always good.
Okay.
So hitting on a 5, but +2 is a 7.
Yes.
And he gets off of 11, so this means D3.
Okay.
For 2.
So she is down to 3 wounds.
Yes. The next thing is temporal manipulation on this guy.
Okay.
It was 6, so I need an 8.
He gets a +1, doesn't he?
Nope.
Okay, so he needs an 8. Double 1s would be okay.
Nope.
4 does not go off.
Okay.
Oh, for God's sakes. What is going on here?
And I do a smite also here.
Okay.
So Brotherhood of Psychers, he doesn't get the penalties, but still on a 7.
Yes.
Which he makes.
Okay.
D3.
Okay.
For 1 more.
She's down to 2 wounds.
That's fine, because they still have imponable saves. Temperamentation didn't get off, so I can Doombolt nothing. I will prescience my Contemptor.
Okay.
So also a +2, but I have a Familiar plus Higher Magister, so it cancels off. I have then a 7, which I don't get. Smite will be the newest.
Yeah, still the closest. Line of sight.
So I need an
5.
5, which I get with a 10.
Okay.
So D3. So she's dead.
Yes, she is.
Should I just move that?
Sure.
Okay. So, and I glamour my contemptor.
Okay. +2 to this roll, or -2 to this roll, I should say.
8.
This is 6.
Glamour is 7. No, it doesn't go off.
Okay. So the assassin doing his job.
Yes, he's doing, unfortunately.
You have killed 1 unit though. That's gonna net you a point at least. So we will come back after your shooting phase. We've definitely called the 1,000 Suns. They're shooting a little less effective. Simon, take us through it.
So, in total, the whole combined firepower of that guy and my rubrics just managed to take one wound of that Colexus, unfortunately. And the Butcher Cannon also just managed to take off two wounds of that Penitent Engine. Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate, but that's the dice rolling. So now we will go on to the
Assault phase.
Assault phase and trying to get some stuff done.
Yep, it's desperation time here in turn 3 for the 1,000 Suns. Let's keep him on his heels. 1,000 Suns turn 3.
Assault phase. Let's start with that.
Charge and fight phase.
Charge and fight phase. Let's start with something what was really good.
Positive.
Or
Start with the
positive. I killed that assassin over here. That was the only thing positive.
And the Bio Meltdown did nothing.
Nothing. And unfortunately, I couldn't make the charge over here for an 8. I dropped the dice before it was a 6, so that was great, but I took away rerolled that one because I dropped it, so it couldn't make it.
Just like golf, there was no intent.
Yes, and they couldn't make it inside.
And you did lose 1 on Overwatch.
Yeah, I did 1 on Overwatch, and I kept my Zangos over here, didn't charge with them.
You deliberate quite a bit. That Penitent Engine, I think, caused you to think twice, and in the end chose not to. So
yes,
Simon, you do hold 1 objective.
Yes.
And you have killed 1 unit now.
2.
Killed 2 units. That's right. So, but for the purpose of scoring, you're definitely getting 2 points for your turn 3, and maybe more. We'll have to see. As we go on to Imperium, turn 3 next.
Lancaster Boulevard.
Imperium turn 3 movements start with an act of faith with these sisters on the right. They opened fire into the Zangors, killing 3. They then moved up to get as many girls in rapid fire range as possible, while the cannonists moved back to get within the 6-inch bubble to give them a reroll once to hit. This cannonist stayed put on objective number 2. This squad of sisters stayed put on objective number 5. Lemon Rust stayed put on objective number 4, as did the commander. This Lemon Rush shifted over a little bit towards the fortress here in order to take a look through the window in there at some of Simon's rubrics in there. This unit managed to get 7 inches, or 6s on his advance for a total of 13.
Yes.
Those guys stood fast, as did the Seraphim and the Assassin. So, we're now ready to go on to our shooting phase where we hope to devastate Simon. Okay, so halfway through the turn 3, it was really the end of the turn 3 shooting. Simon has opted to concede. I'll show you why. So these sisters opened up again into the Zangors, which were then aided by 3-1, the standard Lehman Russ, and the tank commander, who had 6 shots on his top plasma executioner cannon, rolled 5 1s initially, and then re-rolled. Anyways, in the end, Simon lost
11.
11.
Leadership is 7, so anyhow, this unit is gone.
Yeah, and they're marked for death, so I was going to get a point there. I have more objectives than Simon, with my 3 versus his 1, and more shooting. There was more shooting. So Lehman Russ 2-1 shot through here, managed to kill 4, and then the Manicore opened up
11 shots.
11 shots, also managed to kill 4, leaving just 2 guys there.
Yeah. So this is the only thing what we have to do, because otherwise you get one more point.
So the Colexus was opened up with his crazy gun. He rolled a 1 originally for a number of shots. I re-rolled that using a command point into a 6 and managed to kill his warlord quite easily. And then I'm also getting recon. So I'll let you know what the score of the game is when we come up for the wrap up. But Simon, it was a good game. I had the advantage. I have played this mission before, or a mission like it, ITC. You had not. And I have played your list before, obviously.
Yes.
You have not played Assassins, maybe ever? Except
No.
Jake used to run the Vindicare, but...
He was running the Vindicare, but the Vindicare was not that big a problem. I always could manage it somehow.
And we'll talk about more. You handled my Assassins, but I think they really caused you to think a lot. So
Yes.
at this point, he is conceding, and I am taking his concession. We'll come back with the end-of-game wrap-up after this. Very good game. Welcome back to the post-game wrap-up, and a very good game it was.
It was, but unfortunately, after the third round review, I had to concede because there was no way I could deny points to you or...
Before we even start talking about that, big announcement for the channel. As I told you off camera, we've been recruited
Yes.
by none other than Paint All the Minis podcast, which I'm a fan of. I will introduce you to them. And they have a project going on where they're creating a website where content producers like us can upload content, and it's all going to be in one place.
Yes.
Still a work in progress. It's still a few weeks out, but I just want to let you guys know there will be more Warcorgi YouTube battle reports appearing, not just on this channel, but also with Paint All the Minis. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm too. I'm totally excited about that one.
When we came up with this idea, when you came up with this idea and I put it in execution
Yes.
a year and a half ago, I never once thought, number one, we would have as many subscribers as we have, and thank you everyone for subscribing, or as many views.
Exactly.
And now the fact that somebody saw it and liked it enough to be part of this ambitious project floors me. So, super
It's
excited.
Super good, guys. Really. I mean, honestly, we didn't thought when we started that one. We thought it was just like a small random thing and just providing you guys some battle reports, but that it went that way, it really stuns me.
It is. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
So, more to come for that. So now let's talk about my victory some more.
Yes. You start, please.
Okay, let's start with the ITC mission. We have talked quite a bit, and while we do like Maelstrom missions, and they are a ton of fun, they're not what the competitive scene plays,
Exactly.
because they're super random.
Yes, so the super randomness is like the drawing cards. I mean, you can also see it in previous battle reports. Sometimes it was like you draw cards in a row, like that you actually can't achieve all of them at once, but it's so good. And there are battle reports that you don't get anything.
Yeah.
And that's why we decided to play this ITC mission. Mike had a small advantage because he already played that one.
And I'm an American.
As American, of course, but we don't dig into that one too much.
And from my home country, so I naturally have an advantage.
Yes, you do, always.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed it. It actually, I mean, I have to say one thing that the people, I mean, how long do they have time to play this game? 3 hours?
It depends on the tournament, because the international tournament, the independent tournament circuit as it's called, thanks to Reese Robbins and Frankie Giapinapo from Frontline Gaming, who do a phenomenal job of supporting all this.
Yes.
They pretty much leave it up to the individual tournament organizers to make those rules. And you can take parts of the ITC and not take parts of it. It's really up to the tournament organizer. What we're seeing in the States right now, from what I hear, is between 2.5 hours on the short end to 3 hours on the long end. And some tournaments are even introducing chess clocks to make sure that people are playing fast enough.
Yes. So, obviously, I mean, I was not experienced, Mike also not really experienced. And we played, I mean, the game was 3 rounds and we had already something like just 3 hours and we had just 3 rounds done.
Yeah, a little less than that with some breaks and stuff in there, but Yes. So learning curve for sure.
Yes, but the thing is, it really gives you a hard thinking what you want to do. I mean, that's actually more honestly thrilling me, because whatever you do, it affects everything. Every decision. It's not like with Maestro. Maestro is just, okay, I'm trying to get my objective and that's fine.
Here's my card. Can I do it or can't I?
Yes, exactly. That's the only thing. Can I do it? Can I not do it? But here you have, okay, to think. Do I want to get points or want to get shoot off the table first round?
Mm-hmm. Do I want to sacrifice a unit that my opponent will get points from?
Yes.
Or do I try to hide them and then they are essentially out of the game for a couple of rounds?
Exactly.
There's so many decisions there. It's very tactical.
It's very tactical. So obviously the mathematical thing, like using for your army lists, is also still playing in with. I mean, I just have to mention this is a typical Cajun parking lot, which gives you an advantage, definitely, but still, you have to make those tactical decisions.
Yeah.
And that's what's making the game, I would say, more even.
I would agree. Because there's really two basic ways to score points. Number one, you can cap more objectives than your opponent.
Yes.
So you have to be mobile. You can't just be a Cajun gun line and sit in your deployment zone because your opponent's going to score. Or you have to outkill the opponent.
Yes.
Or in the case of very defensive armor, you just can't be killed.
Yes.
So you definitely have some hard choices when you come to list building on what kind of force are you comfortable playing with and how well you're going to be able to execute that during the game.
Exactly. So so I just came to know about that we play ITC like 2 hours before. So I didn't change my list because I was thinking still we are going for before I was thinking for Maelstrom. So that's totally fine for me. I couldn't also probably change a lot of my list because this is actually almost what I have on my Thousand Suns, and they are still struggling against certain types of lists, particularly if they are 3 Lehman Russes or Lehman Russes at all. I mean, I have those 2 contemptors, but they're fire magnet.
Yeah, and the Butcher Cannon, well, interesting.
It's interesting.
Isn't the type of heavy anti-tank support you need to get through 3 Lehman Russes?
The thing is, it gives me the advantage of range, which I normally don't have with my Thousand Suns.
Relative to Thousand Suns.
Relative to Thousand Suns, because the relative range, or the range of Thousand Suns is mostly 24 inches. You don't have any weapons what they have. I mean, unless you take something from Chaos Space Marines, or you take the Fortune or something like that, then you have 36 inches range. But that's the only thing, actually.
Well, Predators would be the other one.
Predators, yes, Predators.
Which I think are pretty good. But what you're trying to figure out right now with your list is how to take out that heavy armor, which
exactly
I like to run, and there are no simple solutions for you given the mileage you have.
Not really. I mean, I could go for that Fortune, but I have 2 choices. Either take the Ectoplasma, and 3 times even with in the face, but again I have the problem with 24 inches.
Yep.
Next thing, I think the Ectoplasma cannons are heavy. I don't know it exactly, but they are heavy. So once you move them, you have the -1 penalty. So you have to put on Prescience, you have to put on Demon Forge to get a 3+ to hit for them, and still you have to move up. So in that case, the Hades autocannon would be interesting.
See, but with all of those, to my mind, you're still doing like 2 damage on average.
Yeah.
And you're not getting enough shots to compensate for only doing 2 damage. For instance, my Lehman Russes, the Plasma Executioner specifically, it does 2 damage when I overcharge it. But I get 2d6 shots from the top.
Plus you can reroll with orders.
Plus 2d3
from the
sponsons. That is enough firepower. I'm getting enough shots, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, that I can actually start doing real damage to a tank.
Exactly.
A Butcher Cannon gets 4 shots.
Yes.
Best case scenario, you can only ever do 8 wounds.
Yes, best case scenarios.
Yeah. So even though it's better than what you have, it's not doing enough damage, and you haven't even seen a knight,
Yes.
which I hear scary, stupid things about.
Oh yes, I do.
you would have-
I saw it. Sasha once played in the. You know, maybe Sasha from the channel here. He has played like 3 knights plus some Imperial, some of his raptors.
Sounds like a socialist.
Socialist, yes. And the guy with Imperial fists, which also had a knight and some stuff like else, he was just smashed after 3 rounds.
I think it would just obliterate your Thousand Suns at this point.
I honestly, if you would put like two knights, I would shake your hands and say play with yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I can deal with armor. And that's the problem of the Thousand Suns at all. I'm shredding infantry like a hell.
That's what they do.
I'm shredding that one. Whatever you throw, if it's guardsmen, if it's sororitas, even if it's primaries. Primaries they still have the 2 wounds, which helps them a lot, but I'm shredding them.
Yep.
But when it comes to armor, and I'm using just ammo, and guys don't come me with, oh, you can ally that one. I'm not a fan of supplice at all. I don't like it because you're playing an army which has advantages and disadvantages, and not just trying to cancel out everything by souping together. That's maybe a mistake, some people would say, but this is my approach of the game.
Which is fair. It's a little bit hard-headed, I would say, because the reality is there are lists right now which, through soup, manage to cover up those shortfalls.
Exactly. So
you're in a tough spot.
I'm in a tough spot. So even for example, let's say guard. If you play mech guard against me with my Thousand Suns, I'm done. It's just going about how long I can hold myself, how long I can get missions and points, and how long I can literally, sorry when I'm using that term, save my ass from your guns. But if it comes to blob guard, I can deal with that one. I can. But the problem is, again, that if they're coming hordes, like loads of guardmen, Tyrannus is the best case for that one. Then I'm also struggling because I have the quality shots, but I don't have the quantity, and that's what the Thousand Suns are in a spot. They are, as I probably mentioned several times that before, they are perfect marine killing army.
Yep.
But
that might be the one army this list excels against.
Exactly. Otherwise, when it's coming with armor or souped up list with armor, or just masses or hordes, I'm struggling with that one.
Yeah.
So even if I throw in my Zangers, I also know the typical...
Which are really helpful. They added a lot to your list.
Definitely. I also know this called Beastman lists, but again, this doesn't feel like Thousand Suns.
So I do have a question. So you brought your Zangers in this game on turn 3. Was that in any way, was your decision in any way affected by the fact that I had marked them for death?
Yes.
Okay.
So first of all, that...
Another layer for the ITC.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that because I had to bring him in turn 3, because otherwise he just get the points easily.
Yeah.
So even if I would bring him in turn 2, honestly, I don't know if they would really turn the tide.
I was well screened in turn 2.
Yes, you were well screened.
With the spring FAQ, where you cannot deploy outside of your deployment zone that first turn, it really does allow you to set your forces. And you did a good job of this in your first turn too. By moving out of your deployment zone but maintaining your screens. It's when you get to turn 3 that really those holes start opening up.
Yes.
I was able to mostly keep my screens intact except for the center, but you didn't want to come straight at my Lehman Russes.
Exactly, because they were always threatening. Wherever I just put out my Terminators or Rubrics, immediately your Lehman Russ will shoot them to death.
And arguably you could charge in with those guys, but if you're charging in my Lehman Russes, you're getting defensive gunners, so I'm hitting on 5s, and you're also getting Vengeance for Cadia, so I'm rerolling misses to hit into wound.
Exactly.
So, they are not an inviting target against chaos at all times. So I felt like I was well screened there. So I did want to ask you that question. It was a last minute Hail Mary when you tried to bring him in turn 3 and tried to assault my right side. I'm not sure it made any difference, but at the end of the day, it was like second to final straw
Yes,
for you because nothing was working at that point.
it was nothing working. So when you see the battle report, not really a lot was working. Which was crucial was that even I burned 2 command points. I couldn't save with a 4-up invulnerable against shooting, buffed up by Weavers of Fate. I couldn't manage to get off those shots from the Canoness.
The Emperor's finest, right there. Inferno pistol, did him in.
Yeah, so that was a first hard blow.
Yeah. Because that opened up everything else on my right side,
Exactly.
my Moccasins shooting to take other threats.
Exactly. That opened everything, because if it wouldn't happen, I would probably approach more with or close in with my Rubrics and my Terminators to give fire support, because Rubrics and Scarab Occult Terminators are not, or particularly Scarab Occult Terminators, are not meant for close combat. They are mid-range fire support.
Yes.
This is what they're meant for. With that in backhand, plus with the Exalted Sorcerer on the disc with Temporal Manipulation and Warp Time, I could do some serious things there. Possibly. If he would survive that one, but he didn't because of poor rolling, obviously. Next thing...
But I will say, it was gonna die.
He will die, I'm not denying that.
I still had a few more Sisters shoot at her, and then I had the Mana Core in reserve, and I had a Lehman Russ. And they were all going to target that thing till it was dead. I just got very fortunate. It only took 1 squad of Sisters and a cannon nest to kill it.
Yes. So that was the thing. So I knew I was going to lose that Contemptor, but it was for me that I can threaten his right flank, because his right flank was not very well secured. I mean, you just had this one troop of Sisters, and here. So actually, knowing my Rubrics, they could, and the Terminators plus with the magic psychic support and the Contemptor, they could actually deal with that threat, and possibly. She could maybe break through and get at least one of these Lehman Russes, which actually would help out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably won't kill it, but would at least take it out for a round and then do some damage to it. Yeah.
Because at the beginning I was thinking about massing my Contemptors on the right flank, but then after I deployed everything, I realized maybe this was also a tactical small error, but all the Sisters there, I mean, normally if I roll average on my sails with all this dust, I wouldn't lose so much, but the first round with the Manicore and everything, well, 2+, and you just roll like on free saves 2 1s, burning command points for that one.
Yeah.
And then there's another salvo coming, and the same results coming again. This quite hurts me because my Rubrics are my firebase.
Well, the Mana Core and the Lehman Russes are really good against your list. And again, I didn't know what Simon was bringing, but Lehman Russes and Mana Cores are good against most things.
Yes.
Because all his dust doesn't apply to them at least. And with the -2, it begins to stack up. So let's talk about my list for a little bit. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of the 17 Shetland Light Dragoons and my armored fists.
Mm-hmm.
Supported by Lehman Russes, but I'm also a big fan of the Sisters of Battle, have been for a long time. And this video is a testament that I was playing them before they came out with new models and new codex.
Mm.
So I thought combine the two together, and I've done this before, but it was really missing something in the close combat arena. And I can get away with guard without having close combat, probably not optimal, but I can do it. If I start replacing guardsmen and chimeras with Sisters, then I need something, and I think I found something with the 3 assassins.
Yes, the assassins. Let's say that one. I think if I would come with my Necrons, I don't think the assassins would be such quite a big impact, because I would still have somewhere a Lord or Wraiths or whatever which could deal with that threat.
It would have been, in my opinion, a bigger impact. I think they underperformed this game. Except for the Colexus?
The Colexus is actually very good, because he actually completely almost shut down my psychic phase.
Yeah. So you won't get that with the Necrons, but the other 2 assassins, the Calidus and the Eversur, really did not do well, and all this dust really helped you out there.
Yes.
I think they do very, very well against Necrons. And even the Colexis, even though you don't have Psychers, the fact that you need 6s to hit it in both shooting and close combat,
Okay, that's
Necrons don't have a lot of things like Flamers to mitigate that.
Not really. But what the Necrons have is staying power, so as long as you don't destroy the unit, they'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
And this is the way how Necrons going. They win by attrition like Deathclaw, but just in another way.
Yeah.
But I think when you say that one, I agree partially on that one, definitely.
But what do you think about the assassins in general in the list in a take all comers meta?
I think that they give you something like, let's say, if your army are Marines, then these are your Navy SEALs. Kinda. And
You had to go with Navy SEALs.
yes.
Okay.
Or let's say Delta Force or Rangers.
Okay, now we're at least in the right branch, so we're getting closer. Tonight they were the psychological operations portion of this special operations
Yes,
community.
they did it because
They screwed with your head big time.
yes, honestly, I have to admit that one. Yes, that's true. I think they give you a lot of opportunities, particularly you can deep strike them.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw them whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, because of this FAQ with the first turn of dropping your stuff, you first wait. Anyhow, maybe for that list, it was also for my list or for my 1000 Suns, it's quite hard
Yes.
to keep a screen that they don't deep strike somewhere.
Yeah, board control becomes difficult for you, especially if you hold the 30 zingers off.
Yes, but the thing is, the first Zangos off, I mean, when I'm putting them into the deployment zone, they're shot to bits in one round.
They can be. I will say tonight's game, again, lots of line of sight blocking terrain, so they might have been okay, but at the end of the day, even with that, because they are kind of fragile, you struggle with maintaining board control
Yes,
by round 3.
yes,
Because you are an elite army.
yes, exactly.
And assassins pop up anywhere.
Yes, assassins pop up anywhere, and the thing is, as you said, as Michael said already, they're giving you a headache. So you always have just two options with assassins. Either you ignore them, then they wreak havoc behind your lines, or you deal with them, but then you get shot by the other army.
Yep.
So that's the decision. And if we combine this one too with the ITC missions, then it gets really, really, really tough.
Yeah. I mean, their characters to boot. I didn't use that rule to my advantage tonight, but you certainly can.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that help with assassins. The other thing I want to talk about on my list tonight is my penitent engines. I just need to figure out how to use them.
Yes.
They've never performed for me, and I know people are they're not, no one's running into the finals of the Nova Open, but the people who play Sisters are pretty bullish on penitent engines.
I mean, they're totally fluffy. They're actually not bad units. They just have to reach it.
Yeah, they do have to reach it. The 7-inch move, no ability to advance and charge or anything like that would help them out. And you did it tonight, where you measured out, okay, their threat range is 15 inches when it comes to the flamers, or at most 18 inches when it comes to a charge. That would be a great charge. So it's easy to zone them out, I would say.
Yes.
Now, what they did for me tonight was they took a lot of firepower off of my Lehman Russes. And we already talked about you don't have a lot of firepower for anti-tank to begin with. That was just another way to keep the Lehman Russes alive.
Exactly.
And I was more concerned that you were going to bring something with the Necrons that could really come in at me, like your Praetor Guard, what are they called?
Lich Guard.
Lich Guard. Where, I would like them to perform as a counterattack unit. They never survived long enough or managed to get forward far enough to perform that role. So I will continue to work on those skills to try to get them in, but right now it has been a struggle. They're not cheap at 130 points, but I can see where they could be worth it if they could start getting into the charge or start flaming.
Exactly. When they get the 8-inch range, then that's the zone where they're feeling good.
I'm looking forward to getting the Codex. We'll have the beta Codex come chapter approved in December, and I can almost guarantee there's going to be a cool stratagem in order to allow them to increase their threat range.
I also think so, because They're beautiful models, as I said, super fluff, everything, and that's so sad that you can't. I mean, you're trying to get them work, but actually you gave them a work in tonight's list because I couldn't ignore them, because when they reach my lines they will just shred everything, even damage is 1 or 2.
They weren't even close to reaching your lines. They're damage 3.
Damage 3, so all this does is not applying.
Strength 10, damage 3, 4 attacks,
AP minus.
like 7. I think 3.
Yeah, so just
With Zealot, so the turn they charge in or are charged, they're rerolling all their misses,
exactly.
and on a 4+ they get to attack again.
Exactly. So that's the thing which makes them really dangerous for me.
Dangerous, yeah.
And that was, as you said, that was the thing why your Demon Rust were unharmed.
Yep.
Because I had to deal with them. Because otherwise, looking grim.
Last thing I'll mention, the Lehman Russes cleaned up every round. They did really well. They didn't get to shoot the first round because you had to, everyone on last side. And the Mana Core, the last time we played, where I didn't bring my artillery, and you outranged me with the Necrons and outplayed me.
With the Doomsday Arc.
I had meant to put the line in, to paraphrase from, what's the movie that just came out about Dunkirk? Maybe it was Dunkirk.
It's Dunkirk, yeah.
Okay. Where the British infantryman's on the beach and it's like, where's the bloody Air Force? I had the line, where's our bloody artillery? And I forgot to clip it in, so
yeah.
You get it now. Every time I roll that out, just to kind of see what I'll do with 2d6, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, -2, it does like 1 to 2 damage or something really paltry. Tonight, on fire.
On fire, really on fire. I mean, because whatever I do, I just honestly, I just can't just once use Glamour of Zinj. So, and I have a lot of juicy targets for him.
Yep.
So, when I don't Glamour the Contemptor, he will shoot on him.
Yes.
If I don't if I Glamour the Contemptor, he will shoot at the Rubrics. So, again, the Rubrics with Warflamers, 5-man squad. The thing is, I love them as a models, they're beautiful, but for the rules now and with the web infiltration deep strike rules rewritten, you just don't use them anymore, particularly if you have a Manticore. When the opponent has a Manticore, he just deletes them easily, and it's like, I still like him to have like a counter, for example, if his Penitent Engine would come near, because this 46...
Yeah, they shred it.
They shred it. Okay, wounding on 5 because toughness 6, but AP -2, it really works.
Armor save with 4+ for the Penitent Engine, and there's no invulnerable save because they don't get Shield of Faith.
Exactly. So that would be actually a good thing against that one, but Michael, he's a tactical genius. I have to admit that one. He immediately saw the threat that they cause and annihilated them.
And I had marked them for death, so it made the decision even easier.
Yes.
Try to get up on those points.
So what I can say, Warp Flamers, for now they're not. I mean, 150 points I paid for that squad.
Yep.
They're not worth it. I have to admit that one.
Yep.
They're not worth it.
They had the 5-up save, and you failed 5 out of 6 of them, and that was the game over for them.
Yes.
Anyways, I think that's probably enough for tonight.
Mm.
More content to come. Hopefully you like this one. If you did, please subscribe. We're crawling towards 1,000 subscribers, which means I'll be able to... we just want 1,000 subscribers. Don't worry about why. And then also like so more people watch the videos. So we do appreciate all the support that we get. If you have any comments, go ahead and post them up on the page. Simon's active on the page. I answer every single comment, just about. So if you have any questions or you think we did something wrong, let us know, and we're constantly trying to improve. If you think my list was terrible, well, Simon's list was worse. But you can let us know what you think about the list and stuff like that as well.
Yes.
We have good discussions there.
Definitely. We always like to have good discussions. I have to say immediately, I know that list is not really super competitive, so...
You're getting defensive.
But in some circumstances you can get with that list done, work done. Because I have to also admit, because made this army because I liked the models mostly.
Yeah, and they're beautiful.
And that was my first intent for the Thousand Suns. Maybe some think I'm getting more and more to the conclusion that I can't avoid the Demon Prince.
Yeah.
I can't. I will have to purchase one, have to make one. I think in the combination with the two Contemptors on the flank supported by Terminators, they can do some work in that case. But I think I can't avoid the Demon Prince anymore.
Yeah, it gives you a viable anti-tank option at least. It's not great, but it's better.
Yeah, it's better than the Butcher Cannon.
Okay. Well, that's it for tonight.
That's it for tonight. Don't forget to subscribe if you like it. Comments, as Michael previously mentioned, we are quite active, and we hope you enjoy it.
And for both Simon and me, we'd like to let you know the Emperor protects. Good night.